What's going on, my MMA boxing addicts? It's Monday morning, all right? We finally got ourselves a ridiculous month of fights. Check this out. Listen to this, all right? November 8th this weekend coming up. You got UFC Fight Night, Randy Brown taking on Gabriel Bonfim. But you also got Erickson Lubin taking on Virgil Ortiz, my friends, for the WBC Interim Junior Middleweight Championship of the World. The co-main event. Darius Fulgham versus David Stevens now. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the co-main event was supposed to be Jojo Diaz versus Floyd Schofield. Everybody was absolutely excited to see that fight. Floyd Schofield gets an apparent wrist injury. Fight is off. Now we're moving up, Darius against David Stevens. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, even though the name value isn't there, this is going to be a great fight, my friend. This is going to be a banger of a fight. Both fights have very little losses. Both guys just recently lost to the bully bag. And it's going to be just a great opportunity to see who really is the better between two fighters, my friends. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic co-main event. All right. But to start off November hot, right? Virgil Ortiz, Erickson Lubin. Then the following week, we're here to November 15th, which was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. But at the moment, investigations are going down with Gervonta Tank Davis. They haven't announced that the fight is officially canceled yet, but they're investigating everything that's going on. Netflix, Jake Paul representatives have already been reaching out to several different fighters. We made a video on that. We talked about the possibilities of a matchup with Nate Diaz, Francis Ngannou. Talked about possibilities with Anthony Joshua, possibilities with Terrence Bud Crawford and Ryan Garcia. But to me, it looks like all those are getting shut down, all right? But just because that Netflix card may be getting canceled, that doesn't mean we're getting some absolutely great boxing fights that weekend. You still got Chris Eubank Jr., who's going to be taking on Conor Benn in the rematch. The first fight, one of the greatest fights that I have ever seen. From the walkouts to Chris Eubank Jr.'s dad being there. I mean, bro, this is going to be a fantastic, fantastic weekend. But not just that. I believe November 15th, ESPN Deportes is putting on a fantastic, fantastic card too. You got Rafael Espinoza defending his featherweight championship of the world. You got Richard Torres Jr. fighting on that card. You got Emiliano Vargas making his return. Yes, the youngest son of the Vargas is the most talented one, my friends, with the most. How do you say it? Promise. All right, you guys, November 15th, that's boxing. Then you go to UFC. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn in the morning, right after. You got UFC 322, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Melena. Islam Makhachev have vacating his lightweight bout. Is now moving up to the welterweight division to become a two-division world champion and beat the new champion JDM, who's defending his bout for the first time after gaining it, after beating Belal Muhammad. All right? The whole card, UFC 322, from the bottom to the top is ridiculous. You got Zhang Wei Li moving up to to take on Valentina Shevchenko for her bout, my friends. You also got Sean Brady taking on Eric Morales, Carlos Prates versus Leon Edwards, and now Benel Dariush, right? Benel Dariush taking on SD Benoit Saint Denis. Dude. This was recently breaking news because that fight was supposed to be the main event for the prelims. We had Bo Nickel on the card, but they switched Bo Nickel back down to the main event for the prelims and scooted up Benel Dariush and BSD, which is absolutely, in my opinion, that's the better fight on the main card to have. All right? So November 15th, a ridiculous weekend. UFC 322, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, Rafael Espinoza, Richard Torres, Emiliano Vargas. But then we fast forward to November 22nd. You got the lightweight number 2 ranked UFC fighter in Arman Tsarukyan, who's going to be taking on the number 7 ranked contender Dan Hooker, who's coming off a win of beating Mateusz Gamrot, my people. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic fight, right? But the co-main event. You also got Belal Muhammad, your ex-welterweight champion of the world, taking on Ian Machado Brasiliano Gary. All right? Ridiculous November 22nd. Like I said, you got that. But for boxing, you've got David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. David Benavidez defending his WBC light heavyweight title for the first time since getting it Because Dmitry Volkov decided to vacate his bouts, okay? And not just that, but you have the co-main event. Brian Norman Jr., who's your WBO welterweight champion of the world, and is giving Devin the Dream Haney a shot to compete for it, my friends. Ridiculous. The third fight before that, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who's the WBC, IBF, WBO, Ring Magazine champion of the world, and is looking to become undisputed and unify all the titles by taking on Fernando Martinez, who has the WBA title, my friends. Absolutely ridiculous card. And to open it up, a title fight. You got Sam Knowles, who's competing against Abdullah Mason for the WBO Lightweight Championship of the world. I mean, dude, November 22nd, Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker, Anthony Yarde, David Benavidez. Oh my God. Absolutely ridiculous card, my friends. Then the following week to end November, UFC, no fight. We go straight into December 6th with UFC 323. All right,